Today on the CTV News at 5, white balloons and tears, the first funerals for the victims of the Connecticut school shooting. Plus, Southern Alberta school officials talk safety. And First Nations groups promise more highway blockades in protest of Bill C-45.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Mournful families faced the first of many funerals for children and teachers who were shot dead on Friday in Connecticut. Today, family and friends said goodbye to two boys. They were 6 years old. They were the first victims of Friday's elementary school massacre to be buried. As tears flow, many are searching for answers in the aftermath of the shooting. TJ Winnick reports.
The first of the funerals for the 26 innocent victims gunned down at Sandy Hook Elementary School began today. Noah Posner was the youngest victim. Just last month, he celebrated his 6th birthday, along with his twin sister, Ariel. She was in a different classroom and survived the attack. 6-year-old schoolmate Jack Pinto was also laid to rest. Jack's obituary says he, quote, died December 14, 2012, in Sandy Hook Elementary School in the company of his many friends. Officials say the scene of the massacre and gunman Adam Lanza's home are still active crime scenes. Today, vans pulled up to the school to transport some of the furniture to a temporary school for the kids 7 miles away. Hundreds of workers are prepping the unused building to open so that Sandy Hook children can resume classes.
Schools are working very closely with all the faculty, students, and parents to try to be respectful, try to resume what normalcy we can after a tragedy such as this.
Investigators are still searching for clues behind what motivated Lanza to first kill his mother in her home before going on a murderous rampage at the elementary school. Police have removed computers and videos from the home.
We did seize significant evidence at the residence. We are analyzing it.
The school massacre has reignited the contentious debate about gun control and gun rights. During a memorial service Sunday night for the victims, President Obama vowed to help end the recent string of mass murders.
These tragedies must end. And to end them, we must change.
Today, state police revealed that 2 adults survived the school massacre. They were shot in the lower body. TJ Winnick, ABC News, Newtown, Connecticut.
Now, the mass shooting has local educators looking at how to answer some of the very tough questions students and many parents have. Today was the first full day of classes since Friday's massacre, and Southern Alberta school districts are taking steps to ensure that staff, parents, and students all feel safe. The Holy Spirit Catholic School District is urging staff to be more vigilant this week. Administrators have been provided information about trauma and are being reminded to report anything out of the ordinary right away. The school district is also sending a letter home to parents. Superintendent Chris Smeaton says because of the incident in Tabor 13 years ago, there is a heightened sensitivity here in Southern Alberta.
If you would have asked me when I first became a principal if we would have had to have a lockdown procedure for a K-5 school, I would have said you're crazy. And yet in today's world, it's very, very important. And that's why all our schools have lockdown procedures. Our schools typically you're only coming in through the front door. Those are things that we have to do in today's society. It's very sad, but it's important to have to do that and to be prepared for those things.
The public school district says counselors are available to students if they ask for any assistance, and they're also sending letters home to parents. In addition, Southern Alberta school districts and local police have an agreement to share staff and resources if called upon during a time of crisis. 2 men have been arrested after pretending to be undercover police officers. Shortly after 11 o'clock Sunday night, a man was sitting in his car when he was approached by 2 people claiming to be undercover cops. The men told the citizen to leave the area. Police found the 2 men later in a vehicle on 12B Street in South and detected an odor of marijuana. Now, a baggie of marijuana was turned over to police. Both men were arrested. Police then discovered a loaded handgun and over 100 rounds of ammunition in the vehicle. 23-year-old Devin Matthew DeGestin and 48-year-old John Darcy McDonald of Lethbridge have both been charged with several gun and drug charges. Well, it's a commemoration of a group of young people never wanted to have. Members of the Prairie Baseball Academy held a ceremony this weekend to honor the memory of their 3 friends gunned down near Clara's home 1 year ago.
celebrating them as people and as baseball players and teammates.
Saturday, the local baseball community gathered to honor Tanner Craswell, his best friend and team player Mitch McLean, and their friend Tabitha Steppel. All three died in a murder-suicide near Clare's home last December. Shayna Conway was critically injured but survived. Craswell and McLean were members of the Prairie Baseball Academy in Lethbridge Bulls. PBA alumni marked the anniversary of their deaths by setting up a display and hosting an open house at Lloyd Nolan Training Facility.
It feels like it just happened yesterday, and I mean, every time all of us drive by that spot in Clare's home, I guarantee everyone either stops or slows down or does something. So it's really, I mean, it's nice to have this for those guys, and they'll never be forgotten.
You have a group of 25 guys, it definitely makes it a little easier. But their presence was definitely missed, not only in our lineup and on the field, but in the clubhouse and off the field as well. Just genuine guys and guys that would do anything for you.
Meanwhile, 5 people are recovering after a head-on collision south of Lethbridge. The collision happened Sunday evening about 6 kilometers south of Lethbridge on Highway 5. 3 teens from Raymond were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries after their car crossed the center line and hit an oncoming pickup truck. 2 people in the pickup, a 60-year-old man and 57-year-old woman, both from Cardston, were taken to hospital as well. Traffic was delayed for around an hour and a half before the scene was cleared. RCMP say that alcohol was not a factor. The cause is still under investigation. Hey, Dory Rossiter, we've got an interesting forecast on the way.
Yeah, we do. We got a little bit of everything. Negative numbers, very negative numbers, and positive numbers, and some snow in the mix as well. Tomorrow we're going to be seeing some precipitation as the low pressure center pushes through, drags a cold front, cools our temperatures down, but recovery is not far behind. I'll tell you all about it in a couple of minutes.
Oh, recovery sounds good. Thank you, Dory. Well, people walking in and around Henderson Park are being warned to supervise their pets and small children after 2 coyotes were seen in the area over the weekend. Fish and wildlife officers say that the coyotes typically won't cause any problems, but people should call their office or if they notice the animals are acting aggressively. Terry Vogt reports.
Claudette Chadsey says she comes to Henderson Park nearly every morning to walk her dog, but was surprised to see 2 large coyotes crossing the lake, heading toward a gathering of ducks and geese.
It was like, oh my God, I'm in the wild.
Chadsey says she was concerned because of the size of the coyotes. One was much larger than what she ever expected a coyote to be. She was also astonished to discover other people had seen the coyotes on several occasions in recent days.
I'm still concerned with these animals. If they don't find something to eat, will they go in somebody's backyard? And small pets, small children might be in danger.
Wildlife enforcement officers say it's not unusual to have coyotes passing through or even living in quieter parts of the city. In most cases, they say, the coyotes don't cause problems.
This is typical coyote behavior. Again, not typical coyote habitat. However, the behavior was typical. They're chasing birds, they're walking, they're traveling through an area. They did not approach any people. There's no aggression showed by the 2 coyotes. So, in a general sense, it's what coyotes do. It's just not typically where they do it.
Fish and wildlife officers say coyotes are normally most active around dusk or dawn, and typically they say they try to avoid contact with humans and stay away from populated areas. If you do see a coyote, remember it's a wild animal and can be unpredictable.
People should be, when they're walking their pets or out with the children, they should be aware of their surroundings and just ensure that the dogs are kept on a leash. If you have small dogs and encounter a coyote, you can pick that dog up and depart the area. And again, just a general common sense of supervising your children when they're at play.
They're amazing and they're beautiful creatures, and I can appreciate them. But when it comes to a community area where wild animals are also, we have to be knowledgeable and aware.
Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
More highway blockades are planned for this week as First Nations across Canada continue peaceful demonstrations against the federal government and Prime Minister Stephen Harper. The Blood Tribe is planning to set up blockades Friday at all 7 service roads leading in and out of the reserve. Blood Chief and Council says it won't recognize any law passed by the federal government that doesn't have First Nations consent. About 100 people turned out Sunday for an information meeting at the Moses Lake Community Hall to discuss Bill C-45. Organizers say that they're concerned about federal changes to 8 different bills that will impact treaty rights and affect First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in Canada.
Our position is that we're a sovereign nation, that no federal or provincial legislation is going to be imposed on us.
These aren't just First Nations issues. They affect all Canadian citizens. These are citizens' issues. If we all get together and fight these bills, we can make a difference.
Members of the Blood Tribe Council say that they are open for discussion but are not prepared to accept changes unilaterally imposed by other levels of government. Organizers say the Blood Tribe highway blockades this Friday will coincide with similar protests being planned by First Nations across Canada. An inquiry has found prejudice against poor, drug-addicted sex workers led to a series of police failures that let Robert Pickton spend his years hunting his victims. Commissioner Wally Opal's final report chronicles years of mistakes by Vancouver police and the RCMP that let Pickton lure dozens of women to his pig farm. Pickton was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Brenda Wolf, originally from Pincher Creek, is one of the women that Pickton murdered. Wolf grew up in the Lethbridge area. Opal says the parallel yet largely separate investigations were plagued by indifference and poor police work between police and RCMP, and recommends some form of regional policing in the Vancouver area. An Ontario man is facing several charges after Medicine Hat police discovered an illegal body house allegedly operating out of a local hotel in the Gas City. Jermaine Neverson is charged with keeping a common body house, proceeds of crime, possession of a controlled substance, and breach of his bail conditions. A couple of women were also arrested and they were released without criminal charges. A $1 billion deal for Sun Life Financial will have little impact on its Lethbridge employees. Sun Life Financial is selling its U.S. annuity business for $1.35 billion. Delaware Life Holdings will buy it. Sun Life has 300 employees working at a call center in Lethbridge. They will now perform the same function for Delaware. Well, 'tis the season for sharing and caroling. Today, a number of Lethbridge youngsters did both by sharing their time and their talents with a special member of the community. The grade 1 and 2 students from Westminster Elementary School performed Jingle Bells and Silent Night for the residents of St. Therese Villa. They later added some color to these Christmas decorations. Westminster Elementary teacher Grant Bertinani says these kids and the seniors have formed a relationship through the school lunch program, and that today's performance was a way to say thank you to the residents for making all those healthy school lunches.
Trying to build that concept with the kids of generosity. And so these folks are very generous to our school and they help us out in a lot of ways, and we try and give what we can back to them, just by having the kids come here and visit with them, and just building that idea with the kids of giving of yourself and giving your time.
And the Boys and Girls Club is getting a boost thanks to a donation by employees of ATCO Gas. ATCO employees have donated $1,300 from their EPIC campaign held at the end of October. This year, the employees selected the Boys and Girls Club as their feature charity. The money will be used to support the club's nutrition program, which provides healthy snacks for about 130 kids to attend the club. Time now for a look at the day's markets.